Personal finance, folks, is 80% behavior. It's only 20% head knowledge. The behaviors and the way you operate your life cause you to be able to build wealth, or not.
Here we go again. You're out of money at the end of the month yet again. The feeling of dread coming over you as you're trying to get all of your bills paid off makes you feel like this getting rich thing is absolutely hopeless. But let's think about Dave Ramsey's words from the previous video clip. He says that 80% of personal finance is behavior. Could this be the answer? Let's look at a statistic first. Published just a week ago, around 62% of Americans are currently living paycheck to paycheck despite how high inflation is, and it seems like it's only getting harder from here. Is there anything you can do to stop this cycle of doom? I've taken the time to research Dave Ramsey. Turns out he's been helping people get out of debt and become rich for a long time, and that includes the 2008 crisis. With that in mind, the answer is rather surprising. If you're running out of money, there's an incredibly easy fix that can help you finally get on track and stop stressing, and it all starts with this step. Number 1, review your spending.
You got to categorize each of those expenditures.
Yeah.
And when they pop on your debit card, especially if you got the premium edition where it's what automatically logs and all that,
Right.
then you go, okay, drag and drop, drag and drop. You're dragging that expense over into the food category at Amazon, dragging a food expense over there. Oh, and we've got some cash over here. Then you look up and go, crap, we just went $500 over. This is not going to work. I can't do this.
It's just as easy as that. Dave Ramsey makes it clear how fast it is to spend way more money than you intend simply by not being aware of what you're spending. How are you keeping up with your spending? Do you know where every dollar is going? Can you confidently show both little and big expenses throughout the entire month to anyone who asks? There's really only one way you can manage that, and I'm about to tell you what that is. However, what matters here is understanding how to avoid the spending cycle first. The age-old debate of wants and needs comes back yet again. But you do need to understand the difference between the two if you're looking to stop running out of money. It is human nature to want it and want it now. It is also a sign of immaturity. Being willing to delay pleasure for a greater result is a sign of maturity. Dave Ramsey. It's normal to want, just as Dave Ramsey said, but needs and want overlap a lot. For example, we need to eat, but we don't need to eat fast food. We need a car, but we don't need the fanciest car. The difference is breaking down why you need a service or an item, and understanding where the want comes in. If you want to stop spending like crazy, you need to understand why you spend and to stop it right in its tracks. Reviewing your spending will help you see those patterns and allow you to sleep well at night. But you can't just stop there. This is what you need to do next. Number 2, make a budget.
Okay, so number 1, when you do a budget, it is not a straitjacket. It is you telling you what to do.
Sounds simple, right? Well, it really is. And Dave Ramsey has great tips surrounding making a budget, which I'll tell you very soon. But there's something important to know first. A budget is about creating a plan to ensure that every single dollar you earn has a job. A budget will also make sure that every dollar does its job exactly as expected. One way of looking at this is a term Dave Ramsey calls a zero-based budget. This means that when you subtract your expenses from your income and the resulting number is zero. This doesn't mean that you spend everything you have on things that don't matter, but that every dollar is perfectly used. For instance, if you're running out of money, a budget can make sure that what you need to spend is covered. The tricky part is making sure you have money left over for paying off debts, saving, and investing. But I'll get to that later in the video. However, budgeting can be tough and tedious. Fortunately, Dave Ramsey has a wonderful free budgeting tool on his website called Every Dollar, which can help you get started. To help you get started with making a budget effectively, listen to this. Doing a budget means learning an ancient and powerful word. No. Dave Ramsey. This ancient word will help you filter out your needs from your wants, but it doesn't tell you what the most important thing is to keep. That's what this step is for. Number 3, pay the most important bills first.
You know, you get all these little mosquito bills, I call them, little tiny ones, and we make there'd be a list of 30 or 40 things when people first start this that have been just hanging around because they were disorganized and chaotic, and we would take $10,000 and wipe out like 3/4 of the list.
Just like that, one bill at a time, you see your money slowly disappear, and sometimes to the point that you still have bills left to pay, but no money left to pay them. The question is, are all these bills actually necessary to pay? Let's find out. When you're going over your expenses, you need to target and organize what Dave Ramsey calls the 4 walls. Just like a home, there are basic necessities to keep you alive. There are food, utilities, shelter, and transportation. Not surprisingly, this is the order in which you should focus on paying these bills. When you have these bills covered, the hard part is figuring out how to pay the next bills. There are times when you just can't pay off your bills. This is more true than ever now because of super high inflation and interest rates. First things first, don't panic. It's going to be okay. If you have to use your credit card once, it's not the end of the world. However, if you can avoid it, that'll be the best. But it's not always the case. There is one thing you can do, though, to avoid having to use your credit card and even have money left over to pay those debts. Number 4. Figure out how to cut your spending. After your 4 walls are covered, the next step is figuring out how to make it so that you have more money at the end of the month. Fortunately, Dave Ramsey has tons of tips he's willing to share to help you save money in places you may not have thought about before. It starts with this.
I'm a big fan of restaurants. I like restaurant people. I like eating out. But it is entertainment and convenience. It is not economics.
A necessity for survival.
Ever. You never eat out based on economics. Ever.
You probably guessed what the first tip is. But if not, it's eating meals at home. The truth is that Dave Ramsey is right. Eating out is not a way to cover your food bill. It's entertainment, and never has it been useful in saving money. If you want to cut your spending, you need to stop eating out and start meal planning for meals at home. Never cooked before? This may have been a good excuse before the internet, but it's easier than ever to learn amazing recipes that take no time and are insanely delicious. While you're out at the grocery store getting your ingredients, make sure to bring some coupons with you. A sale makes all the difference in the ever-important food bill. You don't even need physical copies anymore, as you can use apps like Ibotta. There's one spending that often sneaks under the radar due to its lack of presence on your payments. It's your subscriptions. Depending on how many services you're subscribed to, you may be losing a ton of money unnecessarily. The worst part is that not all of your favorite shows may be on one streaming service, which is why you have several. Unfortunately, when it comes to cutting costs and spending money, there's no easy shortcut. I learned early that work creates discipline, and when you have discipline in your life, you are a healthier person. Dave Ramsey. There's no better way to say it, and it's what you'll need to cut those subscriptions for now so that you can have all the subscriptions you want in the future without worrying about your money. So, now you've cut off a bunch of expenses, and you're good, right? Well, for many people, that may not be the case. In fact, I'm sure that there are some of you who are already doing this and still struggling to make it by. But even for you, there's a way. It's this next step. Number 5, find ways to make more money.
One is some kind of entrepreneurial thing where you have an idea and you start a business. A good way to do that, start it on the side, and then let it grow to enough that it explodes and becomes your full-time gig.
If you can't make enough by simply saving and cutting costs, then you'll probably need to earn more money for a little bit. Some of you may be wondering how it can be possible if you're already working, but it turns out that most part-time jobs, at least the ones I'll share with you, are extremely flexible and can fit anywhere you have free time. Number 1, deliver food. If you want to walk more, have a working car, or a bike, you can think of delivering food from companies like Uber Eats or DoorDash. It's a simple company that allows you to work when you want, get a base pay, and even keep all your tips. Number 2, shop for your groceries. Maybe you don't want to deliver food, but you do enjoy grocery shopping. Well, there's a way for you to do that too. Instacart is a popular app that allows you to place online grocery orders, and a driver can get your order and deliver it to you. It's a great side job that can help make ends meet when you need it. Be a mail person. No, you don't need to be an actual post office driver, but a glorified version of it. Probably the biggest online e-commerce store has tons of options for you to deliver for them. Yep, it's Amazon. Amazon Flex is how you can sign up to be a delivery driver for them and make some extra money with just a few hours of work. Number 4, use your skills. You're likely to have some niche skills that could be very useful to sell on the freelancing market. For instance, are you a good writer? Or maybe you know some graphic design. Pretty much anything you can think of is going to be of use to someone. So head over to a place like Fiverr if you want to make some money doing something you're already good at. Number 5, walk dogs. If you're an animal lover, you can make pretty good money walking dogs or even babysitting dogs. The app Rover allows you to connect with owners who need their pets walked or babysat. If you're already at home and have some extra time, this is an excellent option to help make ends meet. Number 6, sell old stuff. There's a reason why people do yard sales. It's not just to get rid of old stuff, but to make some money from them. Now you have the power of the internet, where you can sell everything online, which is arguably much easier than setting up a garage sale. You can list your items on a place like Facebook and wait for a buyer, and boom, you've made some extra cash.